A very good afternoon and welcome to KTN's Business Chat. My name is Abi Agina, and with me in studio you have Patrick Obath, an oil and gas extractives expert as well as a director at Kenyan Private Sector Alliance. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's just get straight into the point. 2015 promises quite a lot. From the private sector where you sit, what are your prospects for this year?
As a private sector, 2015 we can take a very bullish view on the year. Based on a couple of issues. One, the last 18 months or so from the elections and the fact that the Jubilee government has been settling in, and the whole issue of the devolved government trying to get in, have been without action. But what you've seen towards the end of last year was, one, the standard gauge railway contract that was started up. They also got together the act of all the roads, which is now being done on an annuity basis.
Yeah.
So infrastructure-wise, there's going to be a lot of activity actually hitting the ground in 2015.
Well, a lot of groundwork, as you've mentioned, and as the private sector, what does this portend for you guys?
I think a lot. First of all, there is a requirement in the standard gauge railway that 40% of the procurement is done locally. And we have a consortium that was formed, in fact, in 2009, which has been working towards securing a certain portion of that activity for the private sector in Kenya. So the cement companies are already engaged, so all the cement is going to be procured locally. Most of the labor is going to be procured locally. A lot of the raw materials are going to be procured locally. The only items that are going to be procured internationally are basically stuff that you can't make. The special steels for the railway and the rolling stock. But the rest is actually going to be done locally, which is, I think, a positive sign for us in that area. And also on the roads project, most of the contracts, about 38%, 39%, are going to be local as well. So that means that for us, a lot of our members are going to be active in the course of this year. And that will generate jobs and trickle down into the economy.
Do you feel that the private sector has the capacity to match? Because this number of projects you've talked about demand quite a lot.
The private sector should be viewed as a potential for getting Kenyans engaged. So a lot of the work will be done by direct Kenyan companies, but it also gives the opportunities for Kenyans to work with other people who are international to allow us to bring in skills and bring in capital into the country for us to be able to participate in those areas. And that means that the private sector will grow stronger, and as the volume grows, the percentage that is done by Kenyans will also grow. That is going to start in 2015.
And in terms of the oil and gas industry, a lot of activity also happening on that front. From where you sit, what should we expect moving forward?
I think you'll see a slight lull in 2015. The biggest issue that we have is that the international prices of oil has gone down, and therefore the money available for exploration activities might be curtailed a little bit. So for those who have reached a point whereby they've actually struck oil, you'll find money coming in because they need to monetize fairly quickly. But the people who are going to be doing exploration still and doing seismic and trying to do aerial surveys and everything, you'll find there'll be a slight slowdown in those areas. There will be a lot of negotiation between the government and the oil exploration companies for them to delay some of the work because the capital that they would have had available is not going to be there. But I think the impact on Kenya is not going to be as big as it could be in other parts of the country, of the world, primarily because Kenya is a very exciting frontier, and people will still put money into this country. So if anything, we'll see a slowdown of maybe about 5 to 10%, not more.
Very interesting insights there, Patrick Obath. That's all the time we had. And now I hand you back to Edith for more news.